A security guard walks around a company's building Ami in heavy rainfall and sounds of cracking thunder echoing through his ears when he notices a can of zolkanoid, which is a chemical element. He doubts someone is around the building and calls other security guards to confirm whether anyone's in there. He doesn't get a response and decides to walk in cautiously. As he moves further, he sees a Russian stripper who wishes him a happy birthday and asks him to follow her. The guard thinks his friend sent her as a birthday present. He gets tempted and follows the lady. He starts removing his clothes. As he gets close to her, he notices a bright green light, and something pulls him with a very strong force, which eats out his flesh in a few seconds and throws away his skeleton. 1 month ago, Sam is on a mining site. He works as a geologist for Ami, a mining company, and is on a call with Chen, a Chinese gangster who wants to buy zolkanoid from Sam and is ready to pay a handsome amount for it. He tells him that it would be used for a social work, but Sam isn't very sure about his idea and denies him. Zolkanoid is a liquid metal with some similar properties as mercury. A person who works at the same company with Sam joins him when he enters the office and tells him that their old boss was stepping down due to some medical issues and his son, Malusi, was taking his place as the CEO. They sense fear of Malusi taking over the company as he may end up ruining what his father created over the years. Junior works as a security guard at Ami and is a good friend with Sam. Junior is a person whose life is full of bad luck, and it started when his mother fell in love with his father, who left them after stealing all the house accessories from his mother. His father never came after that, and got busted by the police while in a robbery. He now has 2 roommates with whom he has signed a lease. He has been single for the last 5 years, and his life isn't going very smooth. Junior steps out of public van when suddenly his jacket gets stuck in its door. He soon loses it. He walks into the office and isn't very happy to find out that his roommates ate his lunch and replaced it with a brick with sorry written on it. As he closes the locker, he's joined by his senior who scolds him for not wearing a jacket. He leaves informing him about a meeting they are about to have. A fellow employee, Portia, walks towards him for a chat. Junior gets nervous in front of her and starts acting strange. When Portia leaves, another employee comes and starts making fun of him for being weird. Another co-worker, Prince, is a good friend of both Junior and Sam and works in the finance field of the company. He's the son of a rich businessman who was a client to his company. His father considers him a failure and doesn't give him much importance. According to some rules of his trust fund, he has to work for 5 years in that company or else he would be cut off. He starts having strange visions sometimes. Prince tries to enter the bathroom through a window as he's late to work and finds Sean, whom he considers weird. Prince gets in and starts looking at the mirror when he's interrupted by Colleen, his senior. She chides him for always being late and not working properly. She informs him about a meeting and wants him to take notes of the meeting. Suddenly, Junior gets angry at her. He stabs her with something, takes her heart out and starts playing with it. It turns out to be his crazy imagination, and he quietly listens to all her taunts till she leaves. In the meeting, Sam is present with some other employees. He listens to Malusi talking, who isn't letting any other person talk. While on the other hand, Junior and Prince are in their own meetings and are getting reprimanded for their unsocial behavior. The meeting was especially conducted to deduct the employees' monthly bonus, as instructed by Malusi. In the meeting, the seniors also introduced the employees to a homeless person who could do most of their jobs and was kept by the company roughly as a security guard. The 3 friends, Sam, Junior, and Prince, meet at a cafe and complain about each their life and the company. Sam suggests that maybe Malusi is trying to sell the company, and that may badly affect the employees. Sam decides to ask Malusi about his plans for the company. He goes to his office and finds him sleeping. He wakes him up and asks whether he will be selling the company. Malusi gets irritated by his questions and orders him to leave without answering him properly. Sam gets home and hugs his wife. He asks how their daughter, Lebo, is doing. She had a long, deep gash on her back. She tells him that Lebo is upstairs and is resting. Sam goes to her room and talks to her about the injury and assures her she is going to be fine. Prince enters in a large and royal house, which belongs to his father. His father comes downstairs and starts arguing with him about his profession and calls him weak. Prince wanted to be a paramedic, but his father wasn't happy with the idea and didn't let him continue his degree. As the argument intensifies, Prince takes an antique sword kept in the showcase and tries to attack his father with it. His father snatches away the sword from him and separates his head with the sword. This again was his imagination running amok. He quietly listens to his father and heads off to his room. At Junior's home, he requests his roommates not to eat his food and tries to make them accept their mistake, but they don't give him much attention and start talking nonsense. 2 weeks later, Sam wakes up in his bed and hears a message notification on his phone. He checks it and finds that there would be a meeting in his office and a big announcement will be made. When all the employees reach the office, Malusi holds a conference and starts his speech, where he just brags about himself and introduces everyone to the 3 new leaders of Ami to whom he sold the company. Gregory, one of the leaders, takes the mic and introduces himself to the employees in his Australian accent. He elaborates about his future plans for the company and requests the employees not to worry much. He asks Badrick, the second leader, to continue where he left. Badrick starts in Jamaican accent and tells some weird things about himself in a very intense manner. Anya continues after Badrick in her Russian accent and starts talking about change and speaks about some nonsense facts about change which do not lead to any meaning. 1 week later, Sam steps out of his car and starts walking towards his office when he finds out that Ami's medical aid for the employees had been cancelled, which meant he would be in great trouble for paying his daughter's medical expenses. On the other hand, Junior's team lose their weapons due to some budgetary challenge. The company won't be able to issue them with weapons, and they'll have to secure the place without any weapon. In Colleen, Prince's senior takes him to Badrick and complains about his attitude in the office. They decide to give him a job to record timings of the other employees in the washroom. He is instructed to note down the time each employee spends in the washroom. Sam rages into the leader's office and have a heated conversation with Gregory and Anya about the medical aid. The leaders deny him and offer him to use some plants and herbs as medications for his daughter. Sam gets more irritated by their nonsense and threatens them that he would file a case against the company. The leaders fire Sam and he leaves in anger. When Sam gets into his car and turns it on, he gets a call from his wife asking if he could get their daughter's medicine, as she was running short of them. As the call ends, Sam gets frustrated and slams his head on the steering. Junior gets home and finds his roommates playing a new video game. He doubts that they may have sold the fridge to buy it and starts arguing with them. As the argument intensifies, they get into a fight and he gets beaten up by them. Prince gets home and starts blaming and complaining about his company. He requests his father to hire a lawyer and is interrupted when his father gets fed up of his complaints and suggests him to leave the house. Prince leaves his house and starts living in his car. Sam gets stressed by the company's amendments and getting fired and decides to call Chen, his gangster friend who wanted to buy the Zulkanoid. Chen gets on the call and asks Sam to get the Zulkanoid as soon as possible. He explains him that it would be used to treat children with heart disease. Sam agrees as he offers $2 million for 12 units of Zulkanoid. Sam goes to a bar with Prince and Junior, where they start whining about the problems they were going through. Sam tells them about his plan to steal and sell some Zulkanoid from their company. Both Prince and Junior agree with the plan and get excited for the heist. Sam recommends to meet Junior's father to get some tips on how to process the robbery. They reach a mental hospital where his father was being held. His lawyer made sure he ends up in an asylum so that he doesn't go to jail. They meet his father and tell him about their plan. His father carefully listens to them and gives them some tips on how to conduct the robbery, and the three of them start planning for the heist. Junior enters his office and notices his senior keeping a key in his locker which belongs to the Zulkanoid storage department. He carefully steals it but bumps into Portia while getting out. She notices him acting strange, so to clarify, he tells her that he gets nervous in front of her and suggests her to spend some more time with him. She agrees and he leaves. The three of them further vote to make the heist on upcoming weekend, when everyone from the office would be present. Prince suggests to make every employee drunk and using sleep-inducing substance in their beer to prevent anyone from waking up. The weekend, Portia is listening to a voicemail sent by Junior who's asking her out on a date. She smiles, but suddenly she notices some squelching voice coming from the office. She carefully makes her way, but gets pulled up by something and screams. Sam gets an old beetle car with Prince and pulls it over in front of Junior's apartment. Junior gets some masks to fully cover their heads in the robbery. Junior enters into a room to assure all the security guards are unconscious and sleeping. He notifies his friends that everyone is asleep, but skipped a person who was in the bathroom at the time he came to check. In the Zulkanoid repository, Gregory was scolding Anya for eating a security guard when he hears some muffled groans and follows the voice. They find Portia tied in ropes. Portia tells them Anya tied her in those ropes and asks who they really were. Junior gets into the repository and is stealing some Zulkanoid cans when he hears Gregory explaining Portia that they are aliens who used movie characters to disguise themselves. Badrick further explains that what they call Zulkanoid came on a meteor when their moon exploded. Their job is to find it, as it regenerates their skin and keeps them alive. They tell her that they are going to take the Zulkanoid and burn the whole city down. Junior gets scared and starts running towards the car. He gets noticed by the guard who wasn't unconscious, and he starts whistling. Gregory realizes someone was listening to him and starts running towards Junior. But before he could be caught, Junior gets into the car and the tire screeches as the car speeds up. Junior recites what he heard to Sam and Prince. They too get scared and starts yelling at each other for getting themselves in the mess. Prince asks Sam to pull over the car and suggests they go back and protect the fellows. They go back. Prince shows his friends that he got a sword with him, and Junior takes out his nunchucks and they prepare themselves for a fight. They walk towards the repository when Sam notices Gregory at a window in a building to their left. Badrick comes walking slowly with a smile on his face. Sam suggests that he would be taking on Gregory. Junior may go for Anya and Prince to fight Badrick. Prince gets scared and hesitates, but they leave him with Badrick. Badrick transforms himself into a monster with numerous horns on his head and fire all around his body. Prince gets shocked seeing his real form. Sam climbs upstairs and cannot find Gregory, but Gregory teleports himself behind him and challenges Sam. Sam strikes him, but he teleports again. Junior enters the repository vault and finds Portia standing in the front, smiling. He gets suspicious and soon finds out that it was Anya who disguised herself. She slams Junior on the ground. Gregory gets behind Sam and pushes him down and injures him severely. Junior tries hitting Anya with his nunchucks, but she snatches and breaks them. She then uses her long sword-like hands to hurt Junior. Junior tries stabbing her with a pen, but it doesn't affect her, and she retaliates by stabbing him back on his leg. Prince tries using his sword on Badrick, but it breaks and he slams Prince down on the floor. Gregory explains to Sam while beating him that he's 92% gas, mainly hydrogen and a bit of butane. Sam gets up and reminds him that he's a geologist and an expert in gases. He uses a fire extinguisher as a weapon against him, and Gregory completely vanishes in thin air. Sam interrupts and sprays some gas on Badrick when he was about to eliminate Prince, and he too vanishes in the air just like Gregory. Junior moans in pain as Anya transforms herself into a creature with numerous teeth all around her face. She tries eating him, but Sam and Prince reach there on time and spritz the gas all over her body, making her vanish too. Sam helps Junior take out the pen stuck in his leg. Portia joins them and helps them get out of the place. All of them talk about the horrific night they had, and suddenly something starts glowing in Junior's body and he bursts into pieces. Portia screams seeing this, and all of them start crying holding his body pieces. But again, this was another one of the wild imaginations of Prince's mind, and Junior was alright. They walk out of the company building and head towards their homes. Suddenly a Zulkanoid can burst in the car because Malusi used to add paint as a cutting agent, which reacted with the Zulkanoid. Sam takes the can, takes some Zulkanoid from it and applies it on one of his injuries. They observes that it is healing his skin, and he concludes that it may help to cure fatal injuries. Sam applies Zulkanoid on his daughter's injury and it heals her damaged skin. Everything changes as Junior, Prince, and Portia shift into a new luxury house. Sam becomes a worthy leader of the company. After some time, Junior takes Prince and Sam to an old refinery where he found a spaceship, and all of them walk towards it to check what's inside it.